Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm up super early. I'm excited to play with some new products. I want to get my thoughts on a lot of these products before the Sephora sale. My recommendations video will be coming probably next, but I did pick up all 3 new shades of the LYS Beauty Cream Blushes. Also have the Natasha Denona Pastel Palette. I'm a little bit late on it, but you know. And then a friend of mine, Brianna Fox, has a collaboration with Sigma. I believe it's available the day I'm filming this, but she did have them send this over to me, so huge congrats to her. We will demo these. Also have the new IT Cosmetics CC Nude Glow. This is their newest complexion product and it is available at Sephora, so I wanted to try it out before the sale. Also have the Tom Ford Soft Matte Primer. I picked this up a bit ago. I've used it a couple times. I'll give you my thoughts. I also picked up this Byredo. Look at this packaging, you know, it's kind of giving me, you know, vibes of something with vibes, if you know what I mean. But this is supposed to be their lengthening mascara. I saw Mariah Leonard do an ad with them. I mean, I have to say her lashes are incredible, so I don't know why really I would think my lashes would look like Mariah's in any shape or form, but I did buy this. I got sucked in. And then I did also pick up Refi Beauty. This is the brand from Jess Hunt. I have pretty much, actually, yeah, I purchased everything in the brand, and her newest product is really interesting. It's lip liners, but it also has a seal that really like locks in your lip liner and then a gloss. So I picked up 3 of the lip liners, and then for lips, I may use Natasha Denona or Makeup by Mario, Patrick Ta. Really, we just kind of get to the lips and make a decision. So I will link all the products that I used today down below in my description box. If you enjoy these first impression videos, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out. If you have any questions about products that you're kind of thinking about for the Sephora sale, you can leave a comment down below and we can chat, or you can wait for my recommendations video and I'll kind of go over everything. If you're new here, I hope you subscribe, and let's go ahead and jump into it. Before I start on the makeup, I want to say thank you to BuiltBar for sponsoring this portion of the video. We're continuing our partnership. I love working with this brand because I truly believe in this product so much. I love hearing how many of you are obsessed with Built Bars now. So Built Bar is just a delicious protein bar. It doesn't have a chalky aftertaste. It tastes like a candy bar, but it's guilt-free. I have a huge sweet tooth. It's something I've struggled with for years, honestly, and these keep me on track. They give me the feeling that I'm having a treat or dessert, but they don't have the high calories or the high sugar. So these are high protein, but low calorie and low sugar. My favorite lately has been the puff in the banana cream pie flavor. I just cannot get enough of this. This is 140 calories, 17 grams of protein, and 7 grams of sugar. So you're getting like a ton of protein, but low calorie. So if you need to or want to, you could put 2 Built Bars, even 3 within your day, whether you're on the go or you want to heat it up with some whipped cream or ice cream for dessert. These are just so, so good. The original Built Bars are quite dense. They're covered in chocolate. Some of them have chunks, some of them have like coconut flakes or maybe bits of nuts, and then the puffs are a lighter texture. I do feel that a lot of people really enjoy the puffs. They're more like a marshmallow kind of texture. They did also just release a new flavor. If it's available, definitely recommend it. This is the brownie batter. So delicious. So this is a puff new flavor. I did just restock myself and bought a couple boxes of the banana cream pie. I usually buy most of my Built Bars. I really believe in this company. I don't just get sent all of these for free. I spend a lot of my own money on them because I eat them on the regular, so I do go through them. Built Bar does a lot of limited drops like the brownie batter puffs, so if you want to see what's coming or what's new, definitely follow their socials. But if you're interested in checking out Built Bar, I highly recommend it. They're also really good for Weight Watchers. They have low points. That's how I originally found them years ago, but I will link them at the top of my description box. I do have a code BabsBeauty10, and that will save you 10% off site-wide. So I cannot recommend these enough. I'm so glad you guys are loving them like I am. So thank you to Built for sponsoring this portion of the video, and let's go ahead and get into this makeup look. So let's go ahead and start off on an eye look. I'm gonna be using the Natasha Denona Pastel Palette. I purchased this pre-order on her her website, and then I also did receive it in PR a couple days later. So I do have 2 of these, but I haven't even swatched this or done anything with it just because I wasn't feeling well. And then when I filmed, you know, I didn't film with this yet. I was trying to play catch up with all the new releases. So I have to say I love the packaging. It has like this, I would say like a soft matte pastel ombre, and then the pastel palette Natasha Denona on here. This is a midi palette, which is my favorite from her because they're not over $100, but the pan sizes are just a little bit smaller, which I think is perfectly fine. Now this is a pastel palette, so there's not gonna be much depth from what I've seen and just in general, my experience with pastel palettes. So this is gonna be more of like a, you know, whimsical wash of color. You know, the promo photos for Natasha were absolutely gorgeous, but she is a pro makeup artist, and most of us don't have the talent to, you know, apply 10 different colors and make it look that good. Keep in mind also she has, you know, photographers, lighting, the whole shebang. So let's swatch a couple of these. Of course, I'll throw some swatches up as well, but I just want to get a feel for some of these shimmers to start. I love Natasha's formula, but pastels can just be tricky. Okay, so these are swatching good. These are the metallics. They feel just like a typical metallic, a little bit powdery, but I feel like maybe that's, you know, normal for pastel shades. So it looks like in here we have a couple of her creamy mattes. Just looking at them, I'm not sure. I would have to check. But it looks like this one and this one have that sort of creamy matte feel, whereas this one is just a powder matte. I don't know if you can see like how powdery that looks. Again, this one looks like a powdery matte. So it looks like we do have a couple cream to powders in here, which again could be a little bit strange with pastel colors. But let's go ahead and jump in and start on a look. I am going to actually really push myself to not do the most today and just do something light and fun, but I need to figure out which way I want to go. Also wanted to mention the collaboration with Brianna Fox and Sigma. She created 5 of her own makeup brushes with them, and we had spoken in DMs a while back, and she told me she was working on some projects, so this must have been one of them. I know she was working on a project with Makeup Geek and then they closed down, so that sucked. So I knew that kind of upset her, but she did get to release this collaboration with Sigma, so huge congrats to Brianna. So I thought we would play around with these. It looks like we have 3 eye brushes in here. These are available now by the time this video is up, so I will link them down below. So these are the brushes inside the little box. It tells you what each brush was made for, and I love the names Fox 1 to Fox 5. And a beautiful picture of Brianna. So here are the 3 eye brushes. I think I'm gonna start off with the Fox 2, which is a smaller, detailed blender. I really need to figure out which way I wanna go with this look. I think I am going to start out, I just don't know which way I wanna go. Maybe with this shade right here, which is called Airy. Now I didn't set my base, which is something that I usually always do, but because these are so light, I felt like having something to grip onto would help kind of maximize the pigment. So I went ahead and blended out the creasing, and I'm going to use this Airy shade, and I just want to pack this on. I always use powder on my lids, but like I said, with this shade being so light and just pastels in general, I feel like if you want maximum color payoff, do not set your eye base. So the Pat McGrath Bridgerton round 2 launches, I think in like an hour and a half. So I have to I have an alarm set to tell me to get it and let you guys know that it's available. I'm not sure if I want to pick the eyeshadow palette up. I know I want to try the blush palette and the lipsticks for sure, but I'm unsure about the eyeshadow palette just because I feel like it's very similar to that first one. We shall see. Depends on, I don't know, I feel like I always panic with Pat McGrath. I really wish, I hate the whole wait list thing and all that. I hate when brands do that. It's just can you just tell people when it launches? And I know it's a way for them to get your email and all that. It's annoying though, because I just feel like having to have a code to get into the website, I just feel like it's really stressful, and it's makeup shouldn't be stressful, it should be fun. All right, so I wanna do something fun. I was gonna go into this shade, but I think I'm just gonna play around with this lime green, which is called Zest. This one does look like it's a cream to powder. Hopefully this blends. So I'm gonna take the Fox 1, which is the crease blending brush, and I want to blend right above the blue. This is almost like a neon color. So I feel like that blended okay, but I do feel like the green looks really choppy. Could just be the nature of pastels. I'm gonna take a little bit of that blue and just sort of soften that. I'm gonna try Brisk, which is a matte formula. It's just like a powder, which is what I was originally going to try. And I'm just gonna maybe blend in between the two. This one is quite powdery, but I do feel like that is softening a little bit. I kind of wonder why she chose the lime shade in that cream to powder formula, just because, I don't know, I feel like it just made it like chalky. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this blue shade called Bubble. It's like a periwinkle. And this one, I can't tell. I really need to look this up. It's so confusing with all the different formulas. This one looks almost like it has that creamy matte feel too. But see how in the pan it looked a little bit deeper, but on the eye it's pretty light? I wish there was like a couple shades, just like 2 shades in here maybe, that were really there to create depth and dimension. Then I'm just gonna go back in and blend some things out. So I do want to try one of the shimmers. I'm just trying to figure out which way I want to go. I'm almost thinking I want to take a little bit of this pink shade up here called Dainty, just with my finger, and put this in the center here very lightly. I honestly don't know what I'm doing. I never do. I never plan anything. I just sit down and I'm like, woo. Try to use, you know, a good amount of shades and see what I like. So I went ahead and did my wings. I want to go in with this mascara. Now I got sucked in by Mariah Leonard. She did an ad for this and her lashes are crazy like long, so I don't know why I bought this, but this is from Byredo. This is the Astronomical Volume Mascara. I thought it was lengthening, but it's actually volume, but it does have like that curled wand, one of those that really gets in there and pokes you. So I want to try this out. I literally almost just got that all over my eyeshadow. Wow, that would have been fun. Okay, so this feels like a drier formula, but I like that because it's not messy and it's not super goopy. So this is 2 coats of the Byredo mascara. I think it's really nice. I like that it didn't get all over my eyes. I have some that I like that are quite messy. This one's not. It's very buildable. I probably wouldn't do more than 2 coats just because I never do, but I feel like it gave me more length than volume and it didn't get too clumpy. So I'll have to keep trying this. I have to say the packaging is special, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I went ahead and applied my lashes and I wiped off the spot conceal that I had on these blemishes that literally showed up yesterday. I literally woke up in the morning, no acne. By the end of the day, 2 under the skin, painful cysts. And I'm really bad because sometimes I will like lance at them because otherwise they just will not go away. So honestly, I couldn't even look at them. Like it was just pissing me off, to be frank, this morning when I woke up. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna cover them. But then I realized if I'm gonna be doing a review on this foundation, I wanna see how it covers them. So I apologize, I know that they are not attractive, but we just have to roll with it. So I wanna try out the Tom Ford Matte Primer. So I thought that I would do half my face with my Hourglass because I love this. I know how it performs, and then half my face with the Tom Ford. I'm having a hard time getting my thoughts on the Tom Ford. I just can't really tell if it's doing anything. And I also noticed when I did apply this yesterday, I wanna say, that my skin got quite red, which was weird. So let's do the Hourglass on this side. I think I'm just gonna do it around my pore area because I don't want to put anything over those blemishes. Ugh, I'm so over it. Thank you for all the encouraging words about starting Spiro, and I know that it's going to take time. Like I'm only a couple weeks in, and I feel like my skin is doing better. And then just randomly, literally throughout the day, they showed up, and it's just like, I don't know. I've been testing new makeup, so I'm wondering if maybe like the foundation or even this was causing acne. I hope it wasn't because I'm about to apply it again, although I did see a review saying that it broke them out. So I'm kind of like, is this the culprit? But this is what the packaging looks like, and then you do twist it and it locks, and then you do have a pump. The texture on this is kind of similar to the Hourglass. I would say maybe a little bit more gel-like, and you can definitely feel it's more matte, and it does have a fragrance. Like it smells very herbal. Okay, can you see immediately how my skin is getting a little bit flushed? This is definitely like drier upon application than the Hourglass. And why do I have literally like glitter? I feel like I had glitter on my hand. I may have to redo the Hourglass side. But do you see how my face gets a little red? I noticed that yesterday, which is weird. I mean, I know my face gets red, but it didn't happen with the Hourglass side. So I had to take a break from filming to grab the Pat McGrath and Bridgerton round 2. But let's get back into it. So I have the Tom Ford on this side, and then I have the Hourglass on this side. I do feel like this side looks smoother, the Tom Ford side, and the redness has calmed down, but it is weird that it does turn red. So we'll have to see how foundation goes over it. So I want to get into this new Your Skin But Better CC Plus Nude Glow Color Correcting Medium Coverage Skin Tint Broad Spectrum SPF 40 from IT Cosmetics. This confuses me just because I feel like they have a million of these. So this is a color correcting medium coverage skin tint with a glow serum and SPF 40 that gives you a healthy glow for normal dry combination skin. So it doesn't say it's for oily skin. Medium coverage, radiant finish. I don't really know what the difference is in terms of this with the other ones from IT Cosmetics. It's saying that it is a radiant finish, and the CC Cream Illumination is a radiant finish with full coverage. So this is a radiant finish with medium coverage. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I have here light medium. They sent this over. I think I might do medium. No, neutral medium. Let me grab this one out. Maybe we'll mix them. So basically this is, oh, that's way too dark. That looks way too dark. Never mind. We're gonna go with light medium. So let me pump some of this out. It does come in a pump. And this is what the shade looks like, yes. So I'm gonna use the Brianna Fox Sigma Fox 4 on one side. Ooh, it has a scent to it, like sunscreen. It's supposed to be a medium coverage. And it definitely has that thick sort of skincare feel, which we all know is not my favorite. I would say this runs dark because this is light medium right here. And I would say looks a little bit deeper. And I do feel like I'm noticing less coverage on this because their original is full coverage. This definitely does not seem like full coverage. This is probably more of a natural, like medium buildable. So I'm not sure I'm loving the way it looks with a brush. I feel like I just am having a hard time building up coverage. I'm gonna go in on the other side. Ooh, okay, with my Haley's Beauty sponge. Maybe the coverage is just really like a light medium because it's even less on this side. Okay, I'm actually gonna switch brushes to a pretty dense round kabuki. This is the Lunar Beauty one. Yeah, this is definitely lighter coverage. I don't know if I would even call this like medium off the bat. And this is still, this brush is still kind of like, I don't know, this foundation's sort of strange. Okay, let's go in with the IT Cosmetics brush. I do love the IT Cosmetics brush, but yeah, this is like not covering up that acne. And I just don't like how it's like sort of slipping on my nose. Like it won't stick to my nose. Okay, so at this point I've used 4 pumps and I almost feel like it just looks like ruddy. Like just, probably because my redness is coming through. Yeah, it's one of those like when you move, you're like almost, the product's like smearing. I don't know if I'm being too picky, but I like hate the way this looks on my skin. I don't like how sticky and tacky it is. Again, I feel like this is the trend we're seeing with these really radiant foundations like Charlotte Tilbury, the one I just tried from Danessa Myricks. Now, this is completely different from the Danessa Myricks because this doesn't have near the coverage. So this is like that heavy, sticky feel, but it doesn't have the coverage, whereas the Danessa had a lot of coverage. But I just mean the feel, like the skincare infused. I could see why they say this is not for oily skin. I mean, I have matte primers on. I just feel like My acne looks horrible. I zoomed you in. I mean, look at like my acne. It just looks horrible, like patchy. This is like dry. So to attempt to be able to even try this, because honestly, I know that I'm not gonna like it, like period. I'm just not, but I wanna show you guys how it sets down. Oh my God, it's just like lifting. It's one of those that like literally streaks and lifts. Oh, my chin looks horrible. I'm gonna take a little bit of my NARS Soft Matte, just like in the areas I feel like I need coverage. I don't even know if I would say the product is a bad product. It's just for my skin type, like, okay, that made me feel a little bit better just to even out my T-zone, but I still feel like this is just not gonna be for me. We'll see how it sets with powder, but I'm gonna use my Dior Backstage Concealer in 2N. This is my newest one I'm still testing. I've been striking out with foundations lately and it's bumming me out. I just don't have dry skin. So it's really hard to wear like these incredibly radiant foundations. They just transfer on me horribly. They look texture enhancing and just heavy, and they feel sticky. Like, I hate the feeling of it. So I'm using my Huda Pound Cake Powder to set. So this is what the foundation looks like set down. I'm so bummed because I don't like it. I just know it's not flattering on me. I just feel like you can see all of my acne. It's going to patch, like I can just feel it. I feel like even here I lost some coverage. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my Vive Bronzer Duo. Oh my God, you guys. It's like so patchy. I'm gonna try to use like the lightest pressure, but we're pretty much in the same Danessa Myricks boat, I would say, but even worse. So I have you zoomed in. Can you see like this patching up here? My forehead looks horrible. And it's not the bronzer because I've used it many, many times. So I've turned my lights down just to really... So I threw my hair back. I'm just gonna continue on. I do not like this foundation. It patches, it's incredibly sticky and thick. I'm really bummed. Like, I thought about taking it off, but I'm like, isn't this a first impression? Like, I shouldn't take it off. This is how first impressions go. So I want to move on to the LYS blushes. I know I love this formula. So I picked up all 3 of the new shades. These are the Higher Standard Satin Matte Cream blushes. This one I'm most excited about because it's like a pretty pink. I think I'm gonna use this today. This is called Humble. So these are very pigmented, but they're more on the matte side. So they're not like super heavy or dewy. I also picked up Epic, which looks really dark, but I feel like, ooh, for summer it would be beautiful. And I also picked up Classy, which is more of like that peachy orange. So here are the swatches. I think I'm gonna go in with the pink one today, just because that's the one I'm most excited about. So I just went ahead and grabbed some on my sponge. Ooh, so pretty. Yeah, I knew like this formula is super easy to use. I didn't even have to wipe it off on my hand just because it's not hard to work with. Now, of course, I did apply a ton, but you know, I always do. So this is what the blush looks like. It was super easy. Like, I just pat, 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 and it was on. If you go a little overboard, you can take just any sponge or even a brush, I guess, and just pat over it. I love this formula and I love the price point on LYS. This is probably my favorite product from them along with their concealer. So I'll have to try out the other shades. You know what? Let's just go for it and add a little bit of, what's it called? Classy, which has more of that like orange vibe. I kind of have a lot on, so I didn't know if I would add more, but it's gonna be hard to see just because I did add so much of that pink. But they're literally just effortless. Like, you don't have to try. I pretty much knew I would love these, but these are a definite yes for me. So to finish off the eyes, I'm just gonna do something simple. I'm gonna go in this shade and I'm gonna use the Brianna Fox 3. Ooh, this is a nice brush for like lash line work, which is what it's made for. And then I think I am going to just mix these two just to see the purple and that blue and just sweep it underneath. Again, if you wanted more pigment, I would apply this like before you set. I know that sounds weird, but before you set your concealer, or again, just apply some primer. I mean, it is applying decently even with like set under eyes. And then I am gonna take the same pink I put on the lid, and I'm gonna take this on the inner corner. So now let's move on to lips and finish this look off. I have these new lip liners from BabsBeauty. I bought 3 of them and a gloss. These are interesting because they have a lip liner. Now I did use this color yesterday, and it is a twist up crayon. But then when you twist this, there's like a top coat that's very almost like silicone feeling, and it's supposed to like lock in your lip liner. So I'm interested to try this. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch the colors. I picked up Rosewood, which I'll probably use today. It's most like pinky Your Lips But Better. And then of course I went for the brown shades. I got the shade, is this Taupe? No, this is Fawn. Okay, so Fawn is right here. And then I did get Taupe, which is the lightest of the 3. So I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips with Rosewood, and then we will try out that like lip, I don't know, sealer. It's kind of strange, but I'm intrigued to try it. All right, so I really like the formula on this lip liner. It's more of a dry, it's not like a MAC lip pencil dry, but more on par with like Charlotte Tilbury, something like that. I wore this shade yesterday and it lasted quite well, even without the topper. So now I wanna go in with the sealing topper. It's really weird, but I'm gonna just apply this over. It feels like a silicone, I don't know, gel. Like it feels like a silicone. I kind of want to try, I'm gonna swatch this on the inside of my hand and then put the topper on and see what happens, because I feel like it'll be hard to tell on my lips. So I just applied it with the topper. I'm gonna let that sit while we finish our lips off. Now she also did come out with a gloss. It's just a clear gloss, and this is just called a lip gloss. So it is clear with a metal tip, but it's supposed to be like super glossy and shiny right here. I don't smell anything, so I want to apply a lipstick first, and then we'll put the gloss on top. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with a really light lipstick. This is the Tom Ford Extreme Badass Lip Color in Blush New. I really like this shade. It has a little bit of like a shimmer to it, but I do feel like that applied a little bit drier than usual. I think probably because of that sealer. I almost wonder if you would put the sealer like over top your lipstick too. But now I want to go in with the lip gloss. She was just wearing it with like just the liner and gloss. I mean, you could do whatever you want. Feels nice, like the applicator. Honestly, I'm super confused because I just rubbed that and it came right off. Like, did I use too much? You know, today's just not my makeup day. Some days we have these days and I'm just like, nothing's working out for me. Okay guys, so this is my finished makeup look trying new products. Let's start out with the Natasha Denona palette. I actually thought I was gonna struggle with this. I thought this was gonna be the product that I just didn't like. I thought it was gonna be hard to build up any depth. And honestly, you're not gonna get a ton of depth, but I have to say, using this with an unset base was super easy. This look took me no time at all. The only shade that I thought was a little funky was this shade right here. But once I put the matte over it, it was perfectly fine. I really like the look I came up with. Do I think everybody needs this palette? No, but if you want a fun pastel palette, I think it's beautiful. It blended easy. I didn't have any issues. And it's more of like an effortless type of palette. Because you're not dealing with any really deep shades, you can just kind of throw it on and go. I really am surprised that this was one of my standout products of the day. You're not gonna get like a deep smoky look, but I do like the look I came up with. I also like the Byredo mascara. I'm gonna have to try it a little bit more. I do feel like it's lengthening, and I also feel like it's a drier formula, so it didn't get all over. So I'm gonna keep using this. I'm glad to have it. It's very pricey though, and I am really liking the new MAC mascara, but this is a good one. I'll keep testing it out. The packaging is just giving it to me. in more ways than one. So, you know, I don't know what to say about it. I'm honestly like a 5-year-old. Okay, moving on to the Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Primer. Not sure, again, I really can't tell. Now, looking at my skin though with this IT Cosmetics, I do feel like it looks more smooth and matte on the Tom Ford side, whereas the Hourglass is not as matte. So the Hourglass isn't really marketed as a matte foundation. The Hourglass is more of a smoothing with oil control. This is just a matte foundation. So this may be one that I would only use like right here where my pores are enlarged. I feel like it would be too dry, and also I am afraid it's breaking me out. I really can't tell what's causing it other than hormones, maybe something I ate, like diet, or all the products I'm trying, but I do feel looking at my skin, this side looks a little bit smoother. You guys can let me know, but it also is more dry. It is a matte primer, so I'll keep trying this out. I'm really gonna try to get my thoughts before I do my recommendations video. The new IT Cosmetics, unfortunately, is a hard no for me. I really just don't like the feel of it. It is very much like the Danessa Myricks in the way it feels. Very thick skincare, you almost have to really buff it out, but it has less coverage than all of those. This says a medium coverage. I would say it definitely is a skin tint. I would say it's on the light end. I used 4 pumps and couldn't cover like my redness. Even putting a high coverage on top of it, it's clinging right here. I just really don't like this. I don't like the heavy feel of foundations like this or skincare infused. I just don't like the feel of them. They're just so thick and heavy. Now this one isn't as tacky as the Danessa Myricks was in terms of after setting it, but the patching that I experienced on my forehead, it looks like shit, to be quite frank. I mean, I have patching over here. It just doesn't look good. I mean, I used 4 pumps and it is claiming to be medium coverage. So it's not like it's claiming to be sheer, but I don't feel like I got medium coverage from it. It's just not for me. If you like really thick, emollient, radiant, skincare infused base products that have light coverage, I think you would like this. For me, it's a hard pass just because of my skin type. Still testing out the Dior concealer. I have to say, I don't know if I'm wowed, but I like it. I feel like it reminds me of the LYS concealer. A little bit less coverage though, and a little bit less hydrating. So I'm still preferring the LYS. I don't feel like it's full coverage. I would say more of a medium, but it blends super easily. And I don't have anything like bad to say about it other than I just don't know if it's a standout yet, but I'm gonna continue to try it. What is a standout, which I already knew, is the LYS blushes. So gorgeous. So happy I picked these up. The price point is great. I love the packaging and I love the new colors. Of course, my new favorite has to be the pink that I used, but I am excited to use the deep red. If you've never tried this formula, super easy and it's not overly dewy. It's very much like the Patrick Ta in terms of how easy it is to use, but I would say just a little bit more matte, so not as much of a glow, but beautiful formula. So happy I picked those up. I highly recommend them. In terms of the Refi Beauty, I love the lip liners, love the formula, love the colors. I love how they wear. Like I said, I wore one yesterday and it wore for hours. I do think there's a learning curve with this topper and I don't even know if I would really use it. I'm gonna have to continue to try. It comes out on a silicone little kind of paddle, but a lot of it comes out and then you get sort of like patching and lifting. I feel like a little goes a long way, so it's just gonna be something I'm gonna have to play around with, but I really, really like the lip liner shades and formula. I'll have to compare how much you get in the lip liner in terms of the cost just to see if it's worth just buying only if you're going to use the lip liner and not the topper, but I really like that. The gloss, nothing special. I would tell you pass on it. You could really put any, you know, lip oil or gloss on and make it shiny. There's just nothing like stand out to me about this scent, finish, you know, it's clear. I don't know. I bought it to try it, but for me, the lip liner is standing out. I almost forgot, but I really liked the eye brushes in the set from Sigma and Brianna. Specifically, this little smudger is so nice just to apply shadows to your lower lash line. I want to try this out to like smoke out shadows. I know she does a lot of like smoky looks, and these were great too, synthetic. They worked really well with the pastel palette. They made things super easy. I'd have to try the face brush again with a foundation I like just because I feel like that It Cosmetics was just so sticky and thick that it just kind of like gunked up in the brush. So I'll have to keep trying it. And because I didn't use a powder blush or anything, I didn't get to use this one yet. But huge congratulations to Brianna. I will link it down below, but the standout for me was definitely the eye brushes. Okay, so that is everything for this trying new makeup. I'm sorry that I got negative in the middle of it. I really am just experiencing bad breakouts with a bad foundation that I had to work extra hard to put products on top. It's just not for my skin type, but I definitely wanted to try it for you guys, so I hope it was helpful regardless. I will link all the products that I used today down below in my description box. Do let me know what you think about everything I used today, if you want to try it, if you've tried it, or what you think about how it applied. Also, don't forget to check out BuiltBar. I will have them linked at the top of my description box with my code to save 10%. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe, and if you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.